Next week on Patreon, I see what the artists from the worst songs of 2012 have been up to, and you can see what I've been up to with nearly 130 exclusives you've never seen before at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. When you were in high school, did two people ever fight that were both at the top of the pecking order? Maybe two bullies or two really popular kids, and you didn't really know who to root for, and even their friends and hangers-on kinda hoped that both would really get a beating and maybe learn a little humility. But of course, that's not what happened, and they all went back to being the pricks they always were. Well, that's basically what happened this week when Donald Trump and Elon Musk had a little verbal sparring session. It seemingly started at Trump's rally. Trump can't stand the idea of anyone being more popular than him, right or left wing. So, seemingly unprovoked, he brought up Elon Musk. Breitbart posted the video in which Trump calls Elon a bullshit artist. Now, since we're talking about childish bullshit, I hate to pull an "I know you are, but what am I?" here, but Trump should know a bullshit artist when he sees one. He literally wrote the book on it. It's called The Art of the Deal. It's all about how to screw people over to get the best deal for yourself. Actually, someone else might have written it, but anyway. Elon's response is kinda cucky to start off with, to be honest. If you weren't aware, Elon has been trying to pander to the right over the last little while. We'll talk about that shortly. So, he responds, "I don't hate the man, but it's time for Trump to hang up his hat and sail into the sunset. Dems should also call off the attack. Don't make it so that Trump's only way to survive is to regain the presidency." A Trump supporter, blue checkmark, responds, "Your response makes no sense. What about his presidency did you have a problem with?" And then lists all the things that he thinks Trump accomplished, and rephrases the question, "What, on policy, did you have an issue with?" Elon ignores the question and responds, "Yeah, but too much drama. Do we really want a bull in a china shop situation every single day?" And then, because he's a perpetual 13-year-old boy, says, "Also, I think the legal maximum age for start of presidential term should be 69. Had to get the 69 in there. Surprised he didn't say that they should only be allowed to serve for 420 days. Then, Bongino Report posts this headline. "Donald Trump. Elon Musk told me he voted for me," which was also part of Trump's rant, to which Elon simply replied, "Not true." Elon's not tagged in any of these, by the way. Do you think he's just searching his name on Twitter all day? I'm sure it's more that his goobers bombard him with links after. Again, it's high school drama shit. "Oh my god, Elon, did you hear what Don said about you?" Elon was tagged in this reply, where someone talks about the problems so many countries have where their leaders are extremely old and how it's impossible to stay in touch with the people if you are many generations older than them. Which Elon simply replies with a 100 emoji, because 50-something Elon is hip, with it, down with the lingo. And it should be noted that I agree with all this. Biden being president is ridiculous too. And Nancy Pelosi's 82. She's third in line for the presidency. What the fuck? And the Supreme Court judges who are pushing 1,000, retirement age is 65. They all have money. Let them go be greeters at Walmart after if they really want a job. But having these old people making policies that will affect adults who won't be their age for another half a century is fucking crazy. Anyway, despite not being on Twitter, this all gets back to Trump. "Don, did you hear what Elon said about what you said about him?" And he's not happy about being called an old man and a liar. So, he takes to Truth Social to respond further. And by the way, Trump claims to hate Twitter, doesn't need it, says he'd never come back. The social media site created by his company, Truth Social, looks exactly like Twitter. Look at this shit. The checkmark badge is just red or pink instead of blue. The comment, retweet, and like icons are all in the same order, do the same thing, and look very similar. Profile pic is in a circle, name in bold, then username with an @ symbol. They just made him his own Dollar General brand Twitter to fuck around on. Anyway, Trump truths, that's what they called it instead of tweeting, he truths this. And sorry, I don't do a Trump impression, so we'll just do it like this, I guess. "When Elon Musk came to the White House asking me for help on all of his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere, without which subsidies he'd be worthless, and telling me how he was a big Trump fan and Republican, I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. He goes on to say, now Elon should focus on getting himself out of the Twitter mess because he could owe $44 billion for something that's perhaps worthless. Also, lots of competition for electric cars. Both of these were posted along with a photo of Elon standing next to Trump, doing his best impression of a smile. He then changes it up, posting one with a photo of him and Jack Dorsey, and says, P.S. Why was Elon allowed to break the $15 million stock purchase barrier on Twitter without any reporting? That is a very serious breach. Have fun, Elon and @Jack. Go to it. Some blue check mark on Twitter posts this. Elon sees it and simply replies, LMAO! And a gif of Grandpa Simpson, the old man yells at cloud moment. And that's how he sees Trump, as a blithering old fool. But here's why I think Elon basically loses this fight. Or why he should have waited to have it when Ron DeSantis pulls ahead as the new Republican Messiah. Which I think he will, and then they'll dump Trump. But anyway, Elon tried to pander to a side that only wants to take from him and doesn't want to give him jack shit. Like this, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan, harder than a priest alone with a choir boy when it was announced that Elon would buy Twitter, called it a great day for free speech. But look at his tweet history about electric cars. I don't know what he sounds like, but maybe it's like this. Democrats want Americans to buy $50,000 electric vehicles, even though they can't afford $5 gas. And variations on that same tweet that he posts pretty much at least once a month. Your savior sells those cars. The guy who's gonna make it so you can say, Elliot Page is a woman, or whatever the fuck you're so upset that you can't say without getting banned. He makes those $50,000 electric cars. You can't throw him a fucking bone? Bridget Gabrielle, right-wing mouthpiece with a fake name who posts dumb shit hate bait on Twitter all day, replied to Elon's I don't hate the man comment with this. Elon, I hope you will reconsider your decision to not purchase Twitter. Find a way to make it work. Free speech is more important than selling cars. Bitch, selling cars is what is going to give him the money to buy Twitter. But this is all the value they see in Elon. They don't give a fuck about his actual businesses. They don't care about him drilling tunnels under the ground unless it's for oil. They don't want electric cars because they think that's commie lib bullshit right up there with veganism and pronouns. And they don't want to go to Mars because there won't be a fucking McDonald's there when they show up. Some of them don't even believe we've ever been to the moon. And some of those people don't even believe that the moon exists. In my opinion, Elon put his eggs in the wrong basket. He should have thrown his lot in with the left. But he was mad that his goofy Canadian girlfriend left him for a trans woman and got word that he was going to be Me Too'd in a couple days by another woman, so he had a little tantrum and announced that he will be voting Republican, and he was welcomed with a kick to the nuts. Meanwhile, the left wants electric cars to replace gas cars. The left would love car traffic underground so that above ground can be for walking, biking, nature, and public transit. I don't know if the left wants to go to Mars. There ain't no kale waiting for them there either. But the point is, if he was going to pander to anyone, that is who to pander to. Think of all that disposable income. They don't have any kids. They keep flushing them. But it was a bad idea to pander to the people who are constantly shitting on everything you do and then asking you, can you spend all your money so I can say slurs on the internet? They say money can't buy happiness, but they'd sure love it if you used your money to buy theirs. So, Elon, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but at Republican high school, Trump is still the captain of the football team, and you are the little nerd who got invited to parties because you could bring beer at your own expense. And once you can't get the beer anymore, it's back to being shoved into lockers while girls yell, "Baby balls, Elon!" Oh well. Maybe someday you'll have a real friend that you didn't have to buy.